Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for Game 3 between QXE and EGAxslav. This is going to be very, very interesting indeed. We are on Tal'Darim Malta, my favourite map, and for those who didn't know, EG is actually my favourite foreign team. And one day, if I could be illustrious and amazing enough to be able to join EG, that would be an absolute live stream. I do tell people that one of my live streams is to be able to cast in Code A over in Korea, but ultimately, you know, if I could join EG, that would just be the icing on the cake, even just as a caster role, because you see players like FXOqxc and I think Edward Starcraft for VT. I don't know why that name came up, whatever, it doesn't matter. But, you know, just people do sign on to teams as casters. I know Praetoria had Azidon, who is very, well, I've spoken to him once or twice on YouTube, and he's seems like a very cool guy. Shame that Praetoria had to disband, but ultimately, you know, he'll find his way. So yeah, EGAxslav going to be spawning here, pulling himself back into this series, taking it to 1-1. Very nice play by EGAxslav in the second game, but regardless, in the first game we saw QXE doing a very, very good job of just exploiting his opponent's weaknesses, going very, very Marauder heavy, and ultimately just making Axslav, he punished him completely for not having anything to be able to deal with the Marauders. So, you know, gotta say, hands down to QXE, a fantastic American player. Currently in Spain, I believe, in Madrid, but, you know, he'll get back into form. He wasn't exactly in the tip-top of shape for MLG, but, you know, if he is going to be going over to Korea, I hope he is for the GSTL, as FXO is scheduled to participate in the next GSTL. You know, I'm excited to see him there, but I'm most excited to see FXO Chef in the GSTL. That is going to be absolutely amazing. So, Axslav spawning as the Red Protoss down here in the 5 o'clock position, whilst QXE is going to be spawning in the 8 o'clock position. And QXE, you know, again, I've said this many a time in my QXE casts, everyone kind of categorizes QXE as hyper-aggressive or whatever, but ultimately, you know, QXE can play a multitude of styles, and he's not just the hyper-aggressive Mad Terran that everyone knows him to be. Granted, Terran does, you know, benefit a lot from being so aggressive, but ooh, nice play here from QXE, going to be throwing down that command center. I love the 1-Rax expand from Terran. It's such a good build, such a versatile build, and it's so easy to defend against a Protoss, unless they're going something crazy, and as long as you have a decent amount of bunkers. If they're going for something like a 4-gate or some kind of Stargate bust or whatever you want to do. So it's interesting to see what QXE is going to be able to pull out of his hat here into any kind of defense that does come along against, you know, potential pushes that Axslav deems necessary. So, QXE, as I said before, is going to be getting that command center. A few Marines out here in order to be able to deter any scout that does come along, but at the same time, he is going to get some nice scouting information here in the base of Axslav. Really nice there, and just sneaking past that Zealot. You sneaky a CVU, whilst a second probe actually comes out here for Axslav. So I'm really interested to see what Axslav is going to do with this second probe. He's probably just going to be scouting the front, but I wouldn't be surprised if, where is he going? He's going down here. Maybe we will see a proxy Stargate, but no, I'm sure we're going to see Blink Stalkers, as we do have a Twilight Council going down right now. And he is slightly supply locked, but no doubt we're going to be throwing down his third pylon over here in this position in order to be able to, you know, just pull himself back in ever so slightly. Oh no, the third pylon had already just gone down, so a fourth pylon will be going down here anytime soon. And, you know, this is very interesting, I've got to say. I need to do a video on this at some point, but if you put a pylon here, right there, and you blink down here with your Stalker, and then you can actually get high ground vision on this part of the edge, and you can do this in all 4 bases. I've tested it. You blink up with the lone Stalker, and then you can blink up into the main with all the rest of your Stalkers, and make for a very, very short and damage dealing game. So now Blink is on the way, and it looks like Axslav is going to be committing to a very, very strong 4-gate Blink push. But I'm really interested to see what he's going to do here. These 2 bunkers are going to make it very, very hard to be able to kind of get in the base there. And, oh, fantastic scouting from QXE here. And this is really what QXE needed. Axslav would have sealed the deal with this game if QXE hadn't scouted this, as he was investing so much into defense at the front here. 3rd bunker even going down as well. But now you know, look at this, you know, great placement by QXC. You really need to know this on this map as a Terran player, or a Zerg player in fact, due to the kind of architecture of the map. I wouldn't actually be surprised if this does get nerfed, because it is a very, very odd kind of situation to be in as a, you know, a defending player. So now blinking down onto this low ground, he can't see up just yet. He doesn't realize that the Marines were there, so, you know, they're going to have a few pot shots off on here, but, you know, ultimately blinking up there with a lone stalker, and good choice there actually by EGAxslav, just blinking up with one stalker, using the rest to shoot from the low ground. A lot of people would have blinked their entire stalker ball up there in order to be able to try and deal as much damage as possible, but ultimately there is no retreat route from that. You have to wait for your blink cooldown to finish, and, you know, it's really, you can be in a really bad spot from there on. So now it really looks like he does want to break the front, but I'm really not sure that this is going to be useful, as 3 bunkers are going to be able to deal with this so effectively, even bringing the SCVs out in order to be able to deter this even quicker. And, you know, at this point EGAxslav's trying to kind of spread him a little thin, trying to kind of exploit if units do have to bounce between bases, but QXC is going to be able to defend this so well. Such good scouting from that lone Marine in order to be able to find this pylon and, you know, put this bunker up here in time in order to be able to deter the Protoss push from coming along. So no, I actually really like this choice from EGAxslav at this point. He is going to be getting sentries in order to be able to throw up some force fields behind the bunkers, potentially in order to be able to deter any kind of repairing from going on. But ultimately, I would like to see a Guardian Shield. He doesn't have enough energy for the Guardian Shield. That would have been able to negate as much damage as possible at this point, as negating 2 damage from each of these shots would have been huge at this point. But I mean, EGAxslav is in just such a bad position. He needs to go home. He needs to find something else to do. I mean, I don't know how he can win from here. He could potentially try to expand and hope that QXC doesn't push in, but, you know, he's going to be going for this attack again. And this is going to be pretty pointless at this point, as QXC has just such a dominating army. So many Marauders out here in order to be able to deal with these Stalkers, and regardless of Blink Micro, they are going to be pushed back very quickly. So now QXE is going to be researching concussive shells and stim, and this is going to put him in a great stead. At this point though, QXE actually believes that EGAxslav has retreated, and once again, great choices by QXE, going to be throwing up those bunkers just in case the push does come again, and once again it did come, as he came around the back once again, and, you know, just pushing in with these Marauders here, and this looks like GG right here, folks. It's going to be a really hard for EGAxslav to do anything from this point, as these Marauders just do so much damage to these Stalkers, and once this last Stalker falls, indeed, EGAxslav does GG. So, I mean, QXE does advance, or did advance through that round in the MLG, and go on to fight his next opponent. So thank you very much for watching these, guys. I just wanted something to cast, as I've been out of practice ever so slightly, and if you like what you see, please do subscribe. I would appreciate it so much. Also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, Kale Starcraft, or Kale Starcraft, and I also have my own Team Liquid thread, so if you want to show your support there in the SC2 General section, please do. That would be fantastic. Any bumps there would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.